You've got to be willing to change your ways. Your life is working. If you don't like what you have produced, you're a director, you are the star, you wrote this script. You produced this, whatever it is. If it's a hit, you produced it. If it's a flop, you produced it. Take ownership of it and decide to go back to the drawing board and rewrite the script that you are the star of. You have the power to do that. On this day, you can declare that I'm going to change. As you look back on your life, you can decide that I don't like what I produced here, and I want higher ground. I want to begin to experience more love. I want to have more adventure in my life. I want something that gives my life a sense of meaning. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been selected to head up a program called Project Life in Chicago, training thousands of kids. And I had the experience, we had our second session this past Monday. And to see these young people when they came in, and to see the young people and the parents and the community volunteers when they went out. One young man from the Cabrini Green housing projects who didn't want to be there, who came up and said, I want you to know I'm so glad to be here. And he said, I'll never be the same again. He said, thank you, Mr. Brown. He said, I just got to go now, but thank you, sir. I'll never be the same again. To see a letter I got from a young man who was in the Cook County Jail where I work on Monday morning. And this young man will not be out of jail for at least 50 years. At least 50 years. They gave him 100 years. This guy has shot at least 60 people that we know of and killed 10 at least. And this letter he wrote, he said, since listening to your tapes, he said, I have not changed, but I feel a different person in me. Over 70% of these young men are in there for murder. We wanted to have a two-pronged attack where we would train people on the outside and train those that are in the jails, because I believe if you cage them like animals and treat them like animals and they're out on the streets every 22 months, they're going to get out and act like animals and go back in.
Now that was a whole new thing for me. Be a happy taxpayer, not a reluctant taxpayer. Okay, you've got to care and feed the goose. And in this country, of course, you know, for a portion of our incomes, maybe it's a little too much, but pay it happily anyway. You know, maybe they'll straighten it out and it'll come down a little bit. Or whatever. Just pay it gladly. To know that we've got to have the Army and the Navy and the Air Force and the submarines and the battleships. We've got to have a show of strength. We've got to be a leader among the free world. We really do. And all that's got to be paid for. So I don't mind picking up my share. And everybody ought to pay their share. In my personal opinion, the poorest of the poor ought to pay federal income taxes, if it's only $1 a year, so they have the sense of contributing to the care and feeding of the goose instead of just taking. They also contribute at least $1 a year, the poorest of the poor, so that they have a sense of helping to pay for the safety and the security of the country. Because see, with our present Navy and Army and Air Force and the governmental structure and what safety we do have around the world, keeps us here secure in our homes, right, where we can work and enjoy each other's, you know, commerce possibilities, trade goods and services, and make money, enjoy ourselves, and have parties. Now, if somebody's willing to do all that out there while we're here having fun, making money, and having parties, I don't mind picking up my share of the tab. Okay. So, Caesar's first. Pay Caesar first. Then, what you got left after Caesar needs to be divided up. And the book, The Richest Man in Babylon, gives you some suggestions on how to divide up your money and where to put it, so that you'll have a good plan. Everybody needs a financial plan.